Karate 360, let's start the show. You will kick high and I will sweep low. From local to global, it's the thing that we love. Karate!
Sanrokumaru. Here we go.
That's
again.
Right. And they're off, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast has started. Oh, we already talked about the count open.
It's time.
It's time.
What's that? Let's get ready to rumble.
Hajime.
Ding.
You know what shobu means?
Shobu.
Because you say shobu.
Yeah.
Hajime.
Trying to think. Face off? I don't know.
Fight.
Fight. That's close. That
Go-
makes sense.
Go punch that person in the head.
Fight. Start.
That's
right. Fight. Go.
That's right. It's a fight. Get it on.
There it is. So again, hello, welcome to Karate 360. This is episode 32. We are on Facebook Live again, so thank you guys for tuning in, sending all your awesome questions week after week, joining us in on the conversation
Loving
of
it.
karate. It's awesome. So much happening right now in the karate world.
Didn't we get, like, since last week, someone send you a message how they discovered us?
Yes, that's right.
Like-
we get it all the time,
That's
but
true,
yeah.
right. People stop us on the street.
That's right. They do. They do.
Get out of the way.
What are you doing?
I'm walking here.
Yeah, no, we've had some people this week just reach out to us again and say, we discovered the podcast finally, and they're loving it. So that's good. Thanks to you guys. And yeah, thanks for listening, everybody, and tuning in and joining our conversation.
It's been awesome. And you, my friend, have had a killer landmark week.
I've had a week for sure, and even the last couple of days has been pretty good for sure. Yeah, I have officially obtained my master's degree.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yay.
Woo, 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 yay.
It feels good for sure.
So you don't have to do anything from this point. Like, you're just done.
Just done.
They have the paperwork and you just wait.
Well, that's not true. I have to go tomorrow and sign a couple things
Ah.
and get a couple signatures and then submit it. But for all intents and purposes, I am done.
So you stood in front of 5 professors
Yep.
and you presented for 20 minutes?
It was probably about 25 minutes. Yeah,
25
I was up there
minutes?
presenting the research.
And then they grilled you for 2 hours.
Oh man, there was question after question. The first round.
Oh, wait,
of
before you get
questions-
started. What was the title of the presentation?
Establishing a standardized fitness test battery for karate athletes.
That's so cool.
It was pretty good.
So
So all this
cool.
research that we've been doing for the past couple of years, all the work that we've done on
So
karate
cool.
athletes, all the fitness testing for the BC team, all the heart rate stuff we did here in Victoria, all of that came together. So really the last 2 years of karate research and came together in a nice thesis, and then I had to defend that thesis, and yeah, it was great.
So how'd they hit you with the questions? How'd they come at you?
Oh, man.
2 hours, man. That's a long time.
It was crazy. There was actually points where I thought, are they just going to keep going here? Like, is there a time limit on this?
They're having fun.
Yeah, for sure. There's 2 rounds of questions. So they go through all the professors there on the panel to ask the questions one to the other, and then they open it to the audience too. And I had a couple people even in the audience ask me some questions. But the first guy...
Oh, I should have been there. I should have been like, how dare you, sir? How dare you have the audacity?
This is not correct.
This is not karate.
This is not at all.
Who gave you this idea?
And then, you did.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
10% off all future salaries. Thank you very much.
There you go. Yeah, but the first guy who asked me questions, my external examiner, who was from Simon Fraser University, who we brought in.
I almost thought you were going to say your ex-girlfriend. I was like,
why are you here? What are you
I knew you
doing?
weren't going to make anything of your life.
Yeah, just throwing things. I just trying to screw
Okay,
up.
external professor. Not the same thing.
Not the same thing. Completely different. He was really great. He did a lot of work on the New York Rangers hockey team on fitness testing for them. So
Wow.
that's why we brought him in. But just on the first round of questions, I think he had like 12 questions. He just kept saying, I got another question, and I got another question. I was like, holy smokes, man, come on.
That's awesome.
Like, when are we going to stop? But it was all good. And then, the questions were all based on why we did some stuff. So just to kind of confirm or clear things up, there's kind of 2 parts to the project. The first part was what we call the physical demands analysis, which is just basically what does it take to perform karate, and that's where we did the stuff on the heart rate monitors here and on the BC team, all the heart rate stuff, as well as the accelerometers, how fast and how hard you're punching and all that kind of stuff, and then looking at the other research that's been done. That was all to determine what it takes to perform karate. And then the second part was the actual development, establishment, and administration of the test battery that we put together. So So a lot of the questions from the panel came out were just on stuff that we did, why we did one thing over another, or, did you think of this? Did you think of that? For example, one of the tests in the fitness test battery is a flexibility test where we look at, how wide you can spread your legs. And the distance in between is the score in the test. Well, their question was, and I thought it was a good question, well, in karate, we don't really do that. We don't really have a passive stretch.
Wait a minute. Open karate circuit with the music and the swords and stuff. You slam that front split down.
That's
in
true.
the middle of
You
your
jump
kata.
up, then you jump down and slam.
Yeah.
So for those people, it might be applicable.
Yes.
But for kumite athletes as well, as kata athletes, it's probably more specific to look at like a dynamic flexibility test where you're actually using your kick to measure how high you can kick or whatever in relation to your body height. So that was one thing that came up, which I thought was a good idea for sure, because, we want to look at how you perform karate. So, that was one of the things that came up. And then, just other questions they had were just on statistical stuff that I looked at and how I came about the order of the actual test and all that kind of stuff. So, it was all really good and passed with flying colors. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, have you written anything on your blog to describe like how you did? I mean, it's only just happened, right? So
No.
I think you should write something really clear and precise. I think we should blast it out to the whole world.
For sure, yeah. Because at this point, we're gonna try and get this published, so in a actual scientific journal. So I can't really release the whole thing yet, but that's a good idea.
I think you can talk about, okay, this is my defense. This is what I had to do.
Totally.
And these are the questions I got.
Absolutely, I can. Yeah,
and I think, because I think what's really important about that, especially with the flexibility thing, is some people are confused between what is a technical, a technique test or a skill test.
Yes, a skill test versus a physiological test.
Right.
Which is
So if you have to have someone, I really like the idea of just having someone kick as high as they can and hit a target without worrying about what their technique is.
For sure.
Because technique comes after.
Yes.
That. I mean, obviously, the better technique, maybe the better kick they will have.
For sure.
And then the better coach, this is a good segue for later, but the better coach who understands the sport better will know how to develop the technique better.
Yes.
But I like the idea, like having... And that'll be fun. Athletes will have to go up. They'll have to hit something.
Yeah.
And so
I think it'll be a little bit difficult to find some protocols or some standard protocols.
Yes.
Like you have to kind of do this. Your foot has to stay on the floor. So
can't lift your heel or something like that.
So that will still have to be put together. But I think it's definitely something that we can do is a dynamic flexibility test. And one of the tests that we did in the fitness test, we modified the 300-meter shuttle, so we made it shorter. So we did a study to show that it was actually measuring what it was supposed to. So we would have to do that for a dynamic flexibility test for sure. So still some steps, but it could absolutely happen.
I wonder if you could have, I don't know if this is possible, I wonder if you could have someone who holds the foot so the ankle doesn't come off.
Holds the
and then
foot
you
on the floor.
You have to kick up.
That's not a bad idea.
Because it has to be easy to do.
Yes.
You have to stabilize the heel from coming off the floor.
For sure.
The other way would be to have stand against the wall and have the heel on the floor and the toe on the wall, and then to swing up from there. But that would make the foot flat. No. But I think there's a way you can stabilize the foot, because what you don't want is the heel to pop.
For sure.
Or the foot to pop off the floor.
Because then that's going to give them a better score. So so just things like that we kind of got to iron out, but just kind of next steps for sure. Yeah. And then the other thing that also came up too was they suggested, and it's already something we've thought about, but having a
flying sidekick contest.
And that's it.
That's it.
that is the measure of how good
Canada
you are.
Open, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, perfect. But they suggested having a specific set of tests for kata athletes and a specific set of tests for kumite athletes, which is something that we've already thought about.
Kata what?
Individuals.
Kata? There's something called kata?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
For sure,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
in the physical demands analysis, I was able to show that the demands are different for doing kata opposed to doing kumite. So they said, well, why did you not do two different tests? And I just said, well, because, in training camps, there's over 100 athletes sometimes, and you just got to get them all through. And sometimes coaches just want you to get it done. So, having more tests or two separate tests might not be applicable, but certainly something to look at in
That's
the future.
awesome. There's so many. It's going to evolve. It's going to grow.
For sure. And that's even
amazing.
what they said. They said there's so many different ways we can go out from this that, the karate research is going to be coming hard and fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. No, it feels good for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I celebrated by just doing more work.
Doing more work. Yeah, it happens, right?
Yeah. Everybody was happy for a minute. I said, just keep going.
Just go back. Yeah. Well, that's cool, because that means you're like, that's done, but your eye is always moving forward.
For
right?
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. There's still work to do, right? I mean, there's always work to do, but this is still going to keep growing. So we just got to keep pushing the button.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it's been
Fantastic.
good, and you've had a good, busy week as well.
Holy cow. Organizing Canada Open, we got now 5 or 6 international teams, which
Yeah.
actually have paid, so they need visas. So we're helping
Yes.
with visas.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good event. I've actually had some phone calls, and it's been really interesting from lots of different places where someone will say like, no one's going to it, so it's not going to be, there'll be nobody there this year. I'm like, really? Because we've got over 100 registrations
we
already.
have a lot of
Right. I'm like,
registrations.
really? I haven't heard anything about it. And so at a macro in the clouds level, I'm being really patient. Like, let's win this thing. Let's have an unbelievable Canada Open in year 3-4,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Come this year, absolutely enjoy, have a great time, make friends, be part of the original series. But for the year 1 and 2, what's really cool is lots of people have already got events planned in the 3 or 4 weeks before, after, on that weekend. But they're saying next year we'll try and be there.
Yes.
Next year we'll try and be there.
Yes.
And I'm like, great. I don't need to win this year.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to get a short-term gain this year in anything they do, they're looking at it wrong, right? At the micro, in the dirt level, I'm going really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one of me, so there's, of the 20, 30 things I need to do, I can really only get like 10 or 15 things done,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And we have a great group of people helping us out. But we'll have an event. It'll be really awesome this year. But it's going to be amazing in year 2, year 3, year 4.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about for that. And then one of the things I've been working on is can a karate instructor teaching in a recreation center or in a private club or in a school be like a tennis coach or a soccer coach?
Yes. Let's save that though. Let's save it for our technical tactical.
Oh, sorry. We're saying technical tactical. I was going to do this one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
That's right.
Well, you keep going then.
Okay, I'm going to keep rolling along. Keep on trucking.
Here we go.
All right. So when you think of a tennis coach or maybe, your other sport is baseball,
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
right? Had you ever played baseball or softball when you were a kid?
Yes, I did. I was a baseball and karate kind of kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost very Japanese.
I know. I was just going to say that. That's very Japanese. Yeah.
Did you always have the same coach, or do you have different coaches?
When I got to, I mean, I was never, I wouldn't say at the elite level, but when I got to the level where I was competing in baseball on rep teams and on teams that went around and did tournaments, usually it was the same 3 or 4 coaches, but
Yes.
at the recreational level, it was always different coaches.
Yes, yes,
Every
yes.
year was different coach.
So I think that, and this has nothing against style. This is more about if you're going to have a really exciting program and train your participants so that I have always believed if you're going to do karate, you should go compete and you should go interact, you should go do events.
For sure.
Okay,
yeah.
these are the rules. Let's get really good at their technical, tactical, and physical requirements for them, and then jump out there and do them. And when we're people who are teaching in a rec center or something, if you teach in your style, that's fine if you're always going to be there, or you can get someone to replace you who's just as good as you are.
For sure.
I've been having lots of conversations with people, and I'm talking about a lot, where the instructor left and the programmer who was running the place was left hanging, right? So they brought somebody in, different style, people weren't happy, or they couldn't find someone the same style, program collapsed, right? So I think there's an opportunity there to teach sports karate and hire people like you would hire a tennis coach or a baseball coach,
Sure.
whatever, and then they have a really good chance to give them a chance to develop the physical needs, the physical training, technical, tactical, have a lot of fun teaching the kids, teaching the adults, and then if they do a really good job, expand the program. More people come in, expand the program. But if they don't, or it doesn't work, and they walk away, or whatever happens, you have to let them go. You just hire another person without worrying about the style.
Sure, yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah,
And you can keep the program going.
You almost handcuff yourself if you're looking for something so specific in your own style.
Exactly.
What are you going to do, right?
So I won't name people names and stuff, but I'm going to talk about really quickly. This guy was interviewed by this community center, and he was running a program there, and he said, tell me about this program that you've been doing. And then he immediately said, well, I've been in this martial art for like 14 years. I have a third-degree black belt. I'm testing in front of my master's soon. And they're like, we have really high standards. He goes, what does it mean? Well, our high standards are worldwide high standards. We're the highest of the highest standards.
What does that mean?
Right? And they go, well, what does your organization mean for being here in the rec center? And he's like, well, our organization was made 45 years ago, and we have this amazing...
45 years ago?
Yeah, we have this amazing master, and he travels the world, and he combines all kinds of stuff. And he actually says there's nothing more disheartening than joining an organization or karate or boxing studio, and then you have to move, right? Because then you move, and then you can't keep it up.
Sure.
He says you can't keep it up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they ask him, like, what are your specific goals for your program here in the rec center? He says, I want to make lots of black belts so that they can go off and they can create more locations for the Grand Master. This is he actually calls it a religion.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Anyway, he just one day walked away. And so now the program died. No one knows what to do.
Gone.
And everything was based on the style. And I think had it been sports karate related, then you could change the instructor. Now, here's the thing. If the program grows and it's popular and you have a good base, you can add a class once or twice a week that is style-based.
For sure,
You can add a kabuto class.
Yes.
You can add a jiu-jitsu. You can add a judo class.
Whatever.
You can add stuff to it, right? As long as you have a really clear curriculum.
I don't even think it necessarily has to be a sports karate base either. I think it can be a traditional karate base, but not representative of a style necessarily, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
necessarily have to be sport karate.
The thing when you learn kata is you have basics that relate to the kata.
Yes.
Right? So
for sure.
different basics relate a different way. How long do you think someone should be a black belt? How long do you think someone should train in karate before they should be a black belt?
Well, I think that's very style dependent as well. What you see, I'm just going off of myself, I was training for 11 years before I got my black belt. So,
how many times did you go every week? It must have increased over time.
Yeah, for sure, it increased over time. It was about 3 on average, and then as it got closer to a black belt, brown belt, getting more advanced, it was 4, sometimes 5 times a week. So, yeah.
What do you think the average person is?
The average person in an average karate club, once a week, I would say.
Okay, once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week,
yeah.
and twice I think would be pushing it on an average, but I think probably
Yeah, in our club, the 4 to 6s are once or twice a week.
Yes.
And the 7 to 12s, some come once a week. There's quite a few, just because of the way we are and what we present.
Sure.
2 or 3 times. Some come more. I think a black belt should be 800 hours. It's 800.
800 hours.
Not 700, not 900, not 750. It's 800 hours.
Okay.
Right?
How did you come up with that?
Because I like the sound. No, basically what it is. Okay, you can't compare any black belts anymore.
No,
it doesn't happen.
For sure.
Forget it. This black belt over here, that black belt. I mean, I was watching videos of a 7th degree black belt who was moving like a 1st degree black belt. It doesn't matter.
Totally.
So I think it has to come down to hours, right? So 2 to 3 times a week, 4 or 5 years. What if you come 6 times a week? It's 3 years, right? Like, I just think an hour sounds good.
Yeah.
And then every 50 to 60 hours, you get to challenge the next belt.
Sure. Or even classes, even too. I mean,
basically same thing.
It's basically the same thing, but some people have hour classes, some people have hour and a half classes.
That's right.
2-hour classes.
And you have to just set up a system to calculate.
Sure. Calculate exactly 800 hours.
Exactly, yeah. Well, actually, my last club, we used to do it on hours.
Yeah.
Part of it was hours. Obviously, I had to pass physical tests. I think there should be some sort of performance test. But really it should be on hours and not to worry too much about it. And if you go to tournament, 5 hours.
Yeah. Just for being there.
You could lose every match. You could lose your first match the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You get 5 hours. You know why?
It's your best experience, really.
Yeah, because you're there. Like
Yeah.
you're in the time. You're studying it. You're looking at everything.
Yeah.
You're learning about everything. So you've probably put 5 hours of learning about karate in.
For sure.
Watching
just by being there.
Just by being there.
Yeah.
So I think it should be 5 hours.
Absolutely.
And if you did well, at the end of the day, if you're going to perform well, you're going to perform well in front of your instructor, or you're going to perform well in front of everybody else, or you're going to perform well in the tournament.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
So, so that's what I'm working on.
No, I like it. It's good. All right, well, why don't we just dive into a little bit of Karate Global News, because we have a little bit that we want to talk about on that. So here we go, Karate Global News.
Right on.
Okay, so something that a lot of people might not be familiar with, something that came back this year, but the 10K Karate Clash.
Yes.
The 10,000
In England.
pound, 10,000 pound karate class in jolly old England.
yes, exactly.
So why don't you tell us, because you were familiar with it, the 10K Karate Class used to be a tournament, I think about over 10 years ago, I think now, when they had it, and then they stopped having it, and now it's back again for its first one. So fill us in a little bit on what the 10K Karate Clash is. I mean, it's pretty straightforward in the name, but...
Okay, so I have a few reports coming, but I can't share anything just yet because we don't have the results.
We don't have the results yet.
We've been looking for them. We've been asking for them.
Yes.
We don't have the results yet.
But the tournament did happen this
Did
past
happen.
weekend.
It's on Facebook. You can watch. Brandon Jewell, who is the son of Jamie Jewell, a friend of mine, competed in it.
Yeah.
He's also on the UK national team. So I'm going to give you just the really basic stuff because there are people in Canada who actually competed in it as well a long time ago. So 10,000 pounds, winner takes all.
Yeah.
And they set it up in an arena. It's one ring, and you fight through rounds. And every time you win, you go to the next round. Person at the end, it's winner take all.
Wow. Single knockout?
I think it's single elimination knockout.
Yeah,
but again, I haven't seen the draws,
Sure.
and I haven't seen the results. I've been looking for them online. So I've asked a bunch of people who were there. And I think it's a really unique opportunity. It held, now you guys can write in, but I think it was held almost every year for several years from the mid-90s until somewhere in the 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's held in London. Again, you guys can smack me over the head if I'm wrong. But here's the concept. It was the first time we heard about here that you won money since the 80s. Did you know there was a Budweiser karate team in the 80s?
A Budweiser karate team?
I'm serious. Yeah, so like for example, Toki Hill was the captain.
Okay.
And so Budweiser funded this team that would go around and they would get some local guys. It'd be like a team committee.
Okay.
So they all go in and have their fight.
Yeah.
Semi-point sparring, semi-knockout. And then the team that won a bit of money, and it was on ABC Worldwide of Sports or something. Like it was on TV.
Cool.
And so they went around and they did that for years and years. And so there were money challenges as they were kind of figuring things out. But this was one where it's just straightforward traditional karate wearing uniforms. So a very interesting concept.
Yes.
I think since then I've seen some stuff in Europe where like Agiev and George Tanos and stuff, professional karate league somewhere, maybe in Ukraine, maybe someone else can tell me where that is.
Okay.
I've seen some of them where they've gone in and they've had 3 rounds. So you do 1 round, finish, second round, up to 3 rounds, more like boxing and stuff.
Sure. Now, is this 10K clash, do you know just Kumite?
Just Kumite.
Just Kumite and WKF rules.
WKF rules.
Yeah. WKF referees?
WKF referees or people who are trained in the WKF system, but I don't know if they got the top referees or just the local guys or whatever. Sure. So anyway, there are videos on the
on their Facebook page.
On their Facebook
their
page.
10K Clash. 10K Clash Facebook page. Lots of videos on there.
Yeah. And I think you can pay I think they give like the first hour or something for free, so the first several matches for free.
That's
and then
right.
you can still pay to look at the archive for the rest of the videos.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the Ustream thing that WKF is doing, where they offer the price for it. And I think it's £10, I believe, is what the price was.
That's right.
Matches, I think.
That's right. So I mean, it's an interesting model if you want to make money today.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, pay-per-view today, or what have we learned about pay-per-view is that as soon as you go to pay-per-view, you lose 90% of your audience.
For sure.
So
just because they don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay. So it's hard to know, like, do you build up the audience or, and make it at the door? Obviously with, boxing and MMA, they obviously have pay-per-view models that actually work.
For sure. Yeah.
But I think the thing with this sort of, because it's so difficult to find like the results and information, like they should make a nice, sharper website.
For sure.
Even like something simple like, here's everybody who fought, here's all the draws, here's a picture of them, here's all their Instagram accounts, here's their Twitter accounts, here's how you can follow all these guys.
Sure.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But hey, anybody who goes out there and tries to get something started, then we weren't there. We don't know what happened.
For sure. And like we said, this is the first one that's been back for a while. So,
Yep,
they're still going to try and get all that new kinks worked out. And
I've been thinking about this
stuff.
for ages to have a Friday night fights. And I think actually tonight in our city right now is a kickboxing.
I think it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
I believe it's tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Friday night.
Friday, yeah.
Because we used to do this on Fridays.
We used to do the Fridays, now we do
That's right,
Thursdays.
totally
Screwed it
forgot.
all up. Yeah.
Actually, that's funny you say that because I was thinking, I can't go because we have to do the podcast. So actually now we moved to Thursday,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I can go now.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting idea. So I've been thinking about how can I pull that off?
Yeah, no,
Right?
I think it's good. But we've talked about it before. I think in the pay-per-view thing, we need to get more eyes on the sport. So just put the videos there.
I know,
and let people watch, but
if you can make money on it, if you
people
can
are
make
gonna try,
you can make money at the event at the gate and then just get more eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, we're gonna try and find out the results and give it to you because I think it's interesting.
For sure. And just so you know, it is also already set to come back next year, 2018.
Oh,
so
great.
2018, the 10K Clash will be back. And also, we'll announce the winner. May as well announce it right now because we do know the winner. The winner of the 10K Karate Clash was Joe Kellaway, I believe, from the UK.
Congratulations.
So there we go. Joe Kellaway, the newest 10K Karate Clash, the newest 10,000-pound winner.
He's 10,000 pounds heavier.
Yes, right. Yeah, well, the size of the check that they gave him was definitely there. So there you go. That's our Karate Global News of the week, the 10K Karate Clash. So let's move on to a little bit of technical tactical. And I know you have a good drill for us that you talked about on your own personal little video, but tell us what our technical tactical of the week is.
That's right. Go to my Facebook page, Rich Mosdell. You can see the video I did with some athletes today. When I first went to Japan, I started learning about how you could actually slip your head and not get hit.
Okay.
Right, which is a
Good
boxers are doing that for ages. And I got to Japan, I'm like, wow, they move like boxers. And then some of the karate guys are like, no, boxers started moving like us, and with chicken and egg. Right?
Yeah.
And so bobbing and weaving was really popular. And recently, because I've been teaching more self-defense, I've been thinking and studying and watching. So I was watching a ton of videos about bobbing and weaving and remember what I did in Japan. And so came up with this really cool drill where every time, and we've done this in the class too.
Yeah.
Where someone punches and goes forward and you do a dip or a duck or a weave. There's different ways of describing it. A slip where you at least get your head down. I'm on camera here, so I can do it.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Right. So you can drop your shoulder and come in, and you can also drop your shoulder and spin.
Keep in mind as you're bobbing and weaving around the
mic
microphone,
can't
they
hear me.
you.
So go watch the video.
Go watch the video.
So one cool thing is, and you've seen lots of clubs do this where they have like a string or a belt and you got to duck and weave up and over and you come up and punch over it. Yeah. George Kotaka has it on this video as well. And then, so one thing I was working on is, so you got to duck and weave to the outside of the person. So if they punch with their right, you're ducking and weaving and slipping out the right side. And left, you're ducking and weaving and slipping out the left. Now, so it's a great thing for karate to get out of the way and also just to duck just enough to miss getting hit and hit the person. But for self-defense, duck and weave and run so they can't reach you.
Yeah, just get out of there.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all about distance.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've been doing it with the kids where we're trying to grab them or lightly touch their head. Or what I was trying to do is grab them, touch their head lightly, and if I miss, touch their back as they're dodging and weaving so they can't just duck.
Yes.
They got to move.
Get out of the way, yeah.
And then say, they have to stay in the ring and don't get out of the ring, but never let me within range of grabbing you. And if I'm going to grab you, bob and weave and get out of the way.
Yeah.
And man, some of them are awesome. Like it was actually hard for me to do.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next one was, so I have one of the kids stand in front of me. I put my hand out. I'm holding them, and they're like swinging their arms. They can't reach me because their arms short, right?
The old bully trick where you just hold them in the head.
Like, swing, I can't reach you. But then I was like, now kick me with your front kick.
Yeah.
And like, wham! So they can reach, right? Well, if you absolutely can't escape, and this is for adults too, if you absolutely can't escape, you just got to thump someone with your front kick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I really like the drill. And when you were describing it earlier, it was good because you were coming at the athletes that you were doing, and you had them doing the front kick on the kicking shield and
Yeah.
really stopping you. And you showed that when you hit the pad nice and hard, what happens to the person? Like they totally just get stopped in their tracks for sure.
Exactly.
And it's a good panic drill. Like it's a good, okay, like somebody's coming at me, I gotta react right away type thing, because the way we do it here in class, if you're not quick enough, we're just gonna get you type thing.
Yes.
If you're not out of the way quick enough,
Yes.
we're just gonna grab you. So yeah, it's great. It's great for traditional karate, sport karate, and self-defense, all of it.
And you know what was really interesting is some of the athletes who have never done that before, and they've come from other clubs and stuff, got stuck. Like
Yeah.
I ended up tagging them several times.
Sure.
And some of them who are new to our club, but have done a lot of like physical literacy, lateral movement stuff, they're really quick. Like they're not, punches and kicks aren't there yet.
But they know how
But
to get out of the way.
they know how to run away.
Yeah.
So they also may know, I don't want Richard Sensei to catch me.
Yeah.
But they knew how to run away really fast. So it was good. It was a good drill, and we're going to do that again in the self-defense class this Saturday.
There you go. So anybody who wants to see the video and actual, look at how this drill happens, the Richard Mosdell Facebook page has got it, right?
That's right.
Or your Snapchat or anything else that you got going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know where to find it. So there it is. That's our tactical of the week, the dodge and weave drill. Let's talk a little bit about our karate training tip of the week.
Hit me.
Hit me. Every time you say that, hit me. All right.
Boom.
Here we go.
$50.
Karate training tip of the week. So it's this applies more so, I think, for traditional karate than anything.
Never heard of it.
You never heard of traditional karate? Stylized karate, and this is the way to do it.
Snob.
Yeah, right? Get out of here.
Romantic.
Yeah. So we've talked about it in class when we're doing our basics, moving basics. I'm looking at punching. You want to keep as we say, the shoulders back and down as we're doing our punching techniques. So we're traditionally walking across, and for anybody that can see me on Facebook Live video right now, we want to punch straight down as we're punching and keep our shoulders back and down. We don't want our shoulders to come up. Well, we can train our shoulders to be able to stay back and down.
Oh, nice.
Not only just in karate technique, of course, because we do need to do that. We do need to keep our shoulders back and down and really concentrate on it. But a good way to train that, and it's good for karate technique, it's good for posture, and it's just good for everyday life, really, is doing exercises where, like a lat pull down, if you're familiar with that, where you're holding on, you're really pulling something down, but locking your shoulders back and down. So lock your shoulders back and down where they should be, hold them there, and then work the muscles that keep them there, which in this case is your lats and the other muscles in your lower back. Because what happens in karate when somebody, maybe doesn't do it correctly, doesn't have their shoulders back and down, is their shoulders come up, right? You always see them come up before they punch, and that's a tell, and of course it's not straight and it's not as good. And that's because the muscles in your upper back, your traps, are activating first. So what you need to do is train your muscles to activate the lower back muscles first so that your shoulders are locked in place. So by, again, using those lower back muscles first and then going right in and doing a karate technique from one side to the other. So just a good practical way to do this, do your lat pulls where your shoulders are locked in place, and then start practicing your karate basics. Start practicing right now because your muscles are already firing at where they should be. So now you can actually get that proper karate technique.
I learned this drill with Nishimura Sensei where you sit and crisscross your legs, and then you put your arms above your head, and then someone's standing behind you, and they hold your hands tight, and you have to do it like a lat pull pulling down.
Yeah, that's
And then
great.
you have to feel your chest, your chin go in, and your shoulders down.
Sure, yeah.
Then you rotate your hands, and they put so your palms are up, their palms are down, and then you have to push against them like a military press.
Nice, good.
And push up.
Keep your shoulders down though.
But so you try not to hunch.
Yes, that's the trick.
Right. So the main one was you bend your wrists like a cup.
Okay.
And then you pull down, and you had to pull your chin in. Yeah, it worked really well.
Yeah, it just gets those muscles activated, right?
Yeah.
Now your shoulders are locked into that place as you go. And another good way to train too, for people who have one side that's maybe not quite as good as the other, which I think everybody does, is to do those lat pull downs or whatever, however you're doing it, and then get up and do your bad side first, and then do your good side second, because now your muscles are activated. You're using your bad ones. I shouldn't say your bad ones, but your less good side, and then you do your good side. But it just gets it firing, and again, especially for karate basics and getting all that movement going forward, keeping the shoulders back and down as they should be.
Talking about that, have you seen the Sandra Sanchez training video that's just popping around right now?
I don't think so.
I'll copy this onto the I'll share it on the Karate 360 Facebook page. But it's a really good workout of her training really hard.
Okay.
And then there's a part, she's a Goju athlete, so there's a part where I think she is, because the part where her instructor is like slapping her legs.
Oh,
is there something when you study in kinesiology about slapping the muscle to wake it up or to make it activate or something like that?
No, nothing that I've seen. I think it's just more like a adrenaline thing. Like boom, it will get the blood flowing a little bit. It's not going to activate.
Is it like thinking
muscles.
like you got to think about that muscle? That muscle is
yeah,
weak,
for sure.
So wake that muscle up.
Yeah,
here.
and that actually kind of does work. They have done studies on doing different exercises and having a coach or practitioner touch the muscle that's supposed to be activating, and you'll actually activate the muscle more if you're actually physically being touched in that muscle. So that might be something.
I think that's what I don't think they're doing it to make it harder.
No.
I think they're doing it to make. I mean, sometimes he's whacking her with a stick.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, because he wants her to really show that there's tension. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll share it right now so you guys can look at it.
Sure, and I think I actually might have seen that video kind of floating around there, but it's good with the slapping of the legs and that kind of stuff too. I think it's also just like a nervous thing too. You can see somebody's shaking, you just want to calm them down type thing. I mean, the best way. Oh, we got some action.
This is it.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's being posted to the Karate 360 page website.
What he's doing is he's pushing on this. I've had this done in Japan too, where you push on the muscle. Notice he's pulling your shoulders down, exactly what you said.
Yeah.
It's like a hard massage at that point. And then the other side is he's whacking it just to make sure it's awake.
Yes.
So,
and I think maybe first she's rigid too, right? Like she's got to be strong in that cat. I'd have seen this video, for sure, yeah. So yeah, and
I like that drill.
Yeah, no, that's a good drill. So anything to keep those shoulders back and down is good. And I'm going to give you another karate training. Not even a karate. Actually, that's a training.
Is it about shoulder thing?
Nope.
Okay, so just about the shoulder thing. Old Arakawa sensei, who has passed away, would do a thing where he'd say, first pull your chin in, think about your shoulders down, and he'd swing. You say swing your arms, and then let your arms just naturally come to a stop.
Okay.
And then your shoulders will feel lower, and then bend your elbows without bringing your shoulders up, and tuck your hand back.
Okay.
And now you have your loaded karate position.
Yeah.
So you're already thinking this is down. Whereas sometimes when you teach someone to go with their punch position, they lift their shoulders up.
Yes, for sure.
Right? So he used to say swing, chin in, and think of, and also try and think about activating the lat.
Yes, to pull it down.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, hit me with the next one.
I wonder if I should hit you with it or if I should save it for next week. I'll hit it with you because it's really not that hard.
Hit me now. I'm ready.
This isn't not so much a training tip, but I'm going to ask you a question. There is one muscle in your body that you should activate before. Don't give me that look. Before.
I'm a blank slate, man. It's a family show.
Or what is one muscle? What is one muscle that you should activate in your body before doing any type of performance or competition that will actually affect your performance? What do you think it is?
One muscle in your body other than your brain.
Yeah.
You have to use. Now, is this any type of sport or just kumite?
Any type of sport? Well, I would say most type of sports. Kumite, absolutely. Any sports where you're, I don't want to give the answer away. Yes, I'm going to say pretty much every sport.
So is it related about you have to have awareness of your balance center point?
Not so much. It's more to do with power generation.
Your glutes.
Whoa, good job. That's correct.
All right?
Yeah, you're right.
Knew it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I've been around for a while.
There you go. That was good. I asked this question in class the other day in the sports karate class, and there was the legs, the arms, I don't know.
Glute, right?
It was the glutes, yeah. Absolutely, because everything, all the power goes through the glute, so to speak, and it's a thick muscle, right? So you want to try and get that one firing. I mean, you think about it in kumite, you're using it all the time. So just doing simple glute bridges before a kumite match or kata performance will actually benefit for sure.
Totally.
So there it is. You get 2 training tips this week.
Right on. What value do we
bring?
We bring the community incredible value.
Yeah, man, that's it. So there we go.
I remember listening to the Gary Vee show, and he talked about how he didn't work out for his whole life.
Yeah.
He was 30 pounds overweight, but it's evenly distributed across his whole body. So he was just as fat as Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Right. But as a sumo wrestler, but he said he started working out. And his trainer said, yeah, Gary's he's getting fit. He's lost weight. He's got more energy. And he'd be like, I don't have more energy. It hasn't changed my energy at all. I can still go 18 hours a day. Now, I'm 41. When I'm 59, 65, maybe that's where I'm going to notice that I'll have more energy. But I do know that my left glute is now active.
There you go.
Who knew that your left glute could go inactive?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
So work out, and your glutes will be working.
There we go. So there you go. Karate training tip of the week.
Oh, and no silicone injections or anything.
Nothing there. All right. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of the Karate 360 podcast.
Fantastic. Well, we got a couple more, and then we're going to do something live at the Canada Open, right?
Yes, for sure. Yep. So again, Canada Open June 3rd and 4th at the Richmond Olympic Oval.
If you guys are looking at me, I've just been checking my iPhone and stuff. It's not because I'm ignoring you, but literally had some messages about the 10K clash in England.
Awesome. Good.
While they're looking for results, while also Fumio Demura Sensei sent me a message.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. So we'll get that results.
I got stuff.
We got stuff.
I'm giving out hints.
There we go. So yeah, Canada Open June 3rd and 4th. Where can they register?
KarateBC.org on the website. Canada, it's right there. You just click on it, and it's all online registration and online waivers.
Perfect.
Yeah, someone phoned
Easy.
me and said, I don't like this online waiver stuff. My kid might be signing it, and I didn't know about it. I said, well, does your kid have a karate instructor? Yes. Are you on a karate team? Yes. Then your karate sensei will be aware.
Yeah.
They'll be letting you know. But just to let you know, like a lot of places, they don't get the waivers done. So you're going to go into an event that for sure, absolutely, 100%, the person on the other side, we have all their information, and we have yours. And
that's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
I've seen people like blow an Achilles tendon doing kata.
Sure. I believe it.
So, it's going to be awesome. So register. Let's have some fun. And in a couple of days now, I'm going to release the Canada Open kata video.
Ooh, there it is. So that's coming down the pipeline. All right. So there we go. This is Karate 360. I'm Kalan Anglos.
Mr. Mosdell.
Thanks for tuning in. Before we go, remember these live come out Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
Join us in our conversation here, and thank you everybody who has. Monday mornings, the podcasts are available. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or SoundCloud.
Fantastic.
There we go. This is Karate 360. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you next week. San Rokumaru. Bye for now.